Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Kame1. I'm back with another sample breakdown. It's been a while since I uploaded a video. I've just been really busy, just working, taking care of projects, and I haven't had time to edit a video and to create new content. So I'm back now with something new, and I hope you guys enjoy it. We're gonna be breaking down a sample, one of my favorites off of the last pack called Soluciones Volume 1. This sample was something that was a result of the inspiration that I got after getting the OB6 synthesizer. A good friend of mine who owns a coffee shop here in town, who was also a synth head, his plan was either to get a new piece of gear or to move, or he just needed cash, so he gave me a really good deal on the OB6, and I took advantage of it, jumped on in, I bought it, and I added it to the rig. And right now it's sitting underneath the Prophet, and yeah, I'm loving it. It sounds amazing, and this is a result of me playing with a synth and creating a patch with it. So I guess we can start with the synth patch that I actually created with the OB6, which is this joint right here. It's like a really weird like pad slash lead patch that I made, and it's kind of like electrically or like electric key. I really don't even know how to describe it. It's weird, and it has a really nice character to it. And originally, it was pitched up. It was at a higher pitch. It just sounds like, to me, like electricity and spacey vibes, but playing with the pitch wheel, I shot it down and it ended up sounding like this. It just had like a more full sound. And on top of that, played around with some spring reverb. I love springs. This plugin is this shit. Like, I swear by this one as well. This one's amazing. A lot of good, got different presets for reverb, spring reverb, some delays, and it's a lot of fun to play with. So I added that on top. The usual EQ, the Valhalla Room, and it was a good base. It was a really good starting point for this sample. So I had that going, and I knew right away I wanted to incorporate the Rhodes. So I ended up playing this section. So yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's really simple. As many of you know, I have a real Fender Rhodes, and I don't work with MIDI. I love recording raw audio straight from the Rhodes into FL, and I do that for the majority of my samples. So I knew for a fact I wanted like that tone in there, and just to kind of spice it up a little bit and not have it be so dry, I added reels, the Fruity EQ, and again the Valhalla Room. I can show you what that sounds like dry, actually. It's not that big of a difference, but to me it just adds more space and vintage feel with these three effects. And then for another small section of the sample, just to add a little bit of variation, I ended up taking a similar section from the previous, but then pitching it up. And with these same effects, it just kind of gave it like this really creepy vibe. And I can play that for you right now. So like the theme of this sample is pitch. Play with the pitch. Whether you're going high or low, it just adds like a different tone to an otherwise boring instrument, or something that already sounds good, but you just want to take it to the next level, or just try something fresh. So with the Rhodes, I do this often actually, where I take the dry Rhodes and I pitch it up. I don't know what it does, but it gives it like a natural wobble, because like the real Fender Rhodes is hitting like those mechanics inside of the actual instrument. So when you pitch it up, it just kind of like really highlights that character. So I just did it for that small section. And Next part is the OB6 bass. And, you know, if you notice the labeling is a little weird, it's like Moog Sub 37. That's just the name of the channel, but this is from the OB6. And I'll play that for you now. Just like that nasty growl. The OB6 is it's a beast. That low end is ridiculous. That character, it's very aggressive. So it was, you know, it was a natural go-to for the bass section. And for the bass, let's see what I did. Okay, I added what is that? Cinterus from, what company makes this? You guys will recognize the logo. It's this plugin. I don't use it that often, but I decided to switch it up a little bit. I pulled it up, threw it on. I used the just like a light chorus preset. Added the tail chorus, EQ, and decimort. And decimort for me, especially when I have a lot of effects and it increases like the gain of the instrument, I throw this at the tail end of the chain because it's just kind of like it acts kind of like a hard limiter, like a hard wall limiter to just kind of box everything in. And it adds like this noise and distortion, especially for bass or anything like a lead. It helps it stand out in the mix and not be so overpowering. And it just kind of controls it a little bit. I can play the bass dry so that we get like a rough idea of what that sounds like. You'll notice right away that it's just a lot weaker. But then with the effects, it sounds like it's distorting, it's real gritty and grimy, but it still fits well in the mix. So that's the bass. And then let's move on to this section right here. These little parts. Oh, gotta turn that channel on. So these were little details that I added in just to kind of break up the repetitiveness of the sample. And it's simply the Prophet Rev 2 playing with a pad preset and playing with the pitch wheel. Basically, I had the chord ready in my hand, and before I played it, I had the pitch wheel all the way down with my left hand. So right at the same time that I played the chord, I let the pitch wheel or the pitch wheel go. So when I play, the pitch wheel rides up, so it gives it kind of like a manual glide effect. And I do that often just to kind of, you know, make the playing more natural feeling and to make it less boring. So you'll notice that the attack is just kind of like it's riding up. Almost like it's dragging to get to its natural or to like its peak. And for this, oh yeah, I kept it simple. EQ and that Springs plugin I mentioned earlier. I think without it, it sounds pretty similar. The Prophet Rev 2 has onboard effects, so I think it already had reverb on it. But I just added a little bit of spring to it and EQ. Yeah. What do we got so far? Let's see. So yeah, there's that. And then the last part of this sample are these stabs that kind of ride out throughout the entire sample to kind of give it like that, I guess more of like a rhythm, kind of adds like a percussive element to it, but it's still, you know, still keyboard. And let's see, the way I did this was, it was the Fender Rhodes. And all I'm doing there is I'm hitting the different chords and hitting those stabs. Added reverb. And those just kind of ride out through the entire sample. I can play everything together. there it is. Straightforward, nothing too complicated, too crazy. Hope you guys were able to learn something, you know, pick up some new plugins, maybe different methods of editing sounds. Whatever you got from it, I hope you find it useful. On that note, I want to remind you guys that my new sample pack, Soluciones Volume 1, is officially out. It's been out for the past few days. It's a new series that I'm doing that is focusing mainly on like synth-driven, spacey dreamscapes, and, you know, just gritty synth shit. You know, that's my ideal type of sample to make, and I want to kind of house that sound into a series. And I'm also working with an illustrator named Yonil, who's been helping me with the cover art, doing amazing illustrations. You know, he's working on Volume 2 and eventually Volume 3, 4, and 5, and forever how long I decide to take this. But look out for Volume 2. It's coming soon. But for now, Volume 1 is available, as well as the rest of my sample packs with all the different bundles. Visit the link in my bio to check out the store. And comment what you liked about the video, what you want to see next. Make sure to subscribe. Share this shit with your other producer homies. And I'll see you next time. Thank you.